Hi everyone, it's Andrew here, and this week's topic is on how to be a good trans ally and trans API ally. We can talk about that as well. Um, a lot of things are involved in becoming and being a better trans ally. It's really hard to be a perfect one because it's hard to put, as a cis person, it's always hard to put yourself in a trans person's shoes. Um, As for trans ally, first of all, like a lot of people said, respect using the correct pronouns and names. And if you slip up, not making a huge deal and not saying, oh, well, and excusing yourself, just moving on and just going with the flow. A lot of it is also not referencing someone's past. A lot of my experience and bad experiences have been uh, people asking about my past, or people even uh, saying things like, "Oh, you used to," or "You used to be this name," or "You used to do this," or uh, "I wonder, how long your hair was before," or just in situations where it's in front of someone who I'm not out to. That's not okay. If it's in front of my friends, who all know about my identity, it's fine. I'm totally fine with it. But if it's in front of people um, that I'm not out to, then that's uncomfortable. Or asking me what bathroom I use, that's kind of really rude. I don't like freak out or anything, but that's something that's very private, and you kind of figure it out. It's not something that you need to know about me. Also, like saying like, "Oh, have you had this surgery?" That's just invasive. Like, I don't go around asking, do you have something in your pants, or gee, I wonder like how big your breast size is. Um, Even within female spaces, like that's really rude. Also, another thing uh, to be a better trans ally is um, to respect and ask if someone is comfortable, instead of assuming what this trans person in comparison to this other trans person thinks is comfortable for them, because everybody has a different comfort levels, different spaces, and different experiences. One thing may be more triggering to one person than the other. So, for instance, I know that my birth name, whenever I hear it, or if someone has a name, it triggers me, because I immediately think that someone is referring to me as that name. Um, as for trans allies, how to be a better trans ally in API spaces, specific spaces, I think that in API spaces, I've had such bad experiences, because essentially in API spaces, I get assumed as female. I pass way less because my community knows me a lot better, and the physical characteristics a lot better. So I think that's one tip for API people is to not assume. And especially since a lot of API people are very androgynous. And I think that it's really bad to assume. If someone looks already androgynous, I wouldn't assume that. Like in a restaurant before, I've had that happen where it's like she, I mean he, I mean she, I mean he, and just bouncing back and forth. And that's just, at the end of the day, that's like a very disrespectful way to address someone, especially since you're my server. That's so disrespectful. And I know I get shocked at the moment. I don't know how to respond because it's something that only happens in API spaces, and I tend to forget that I don't pass in API spaces. Um, Another thing in API spaces is to educate yourself. That's the biggest thing. I know that Jaden said it, is to educate yourself. We can't always be there to do your trans 101. Like, there are resources out there. I'll link you to a few, but essentially the resources are limitless online, and I cannot burn myself out to educate you every single day. Uh, I have my own stuff to educate. I have my own positions to educate. I have work to do. I can't completely exhaust my social ability every day just so, you don't have to Google something. It's just, it is what it is, common sense. It's just like saying, how do we combat racism? First of all, you change your attitude and you change how you treat the people around you, and you open up your mind and you do your own research and you read up everything you can. It's this issue is different and it's similar at the same time, and we need to make an effort around us. And there's a lot of resources on campus at here at UF, and yes, it depends on the town and what kind of people that surround you, but if you've never met a trans person and I'm the first trans person you've met, at least don't ask me personal questions in front of other people. Try and grab lunch with me, get to know, and just flat out say, I don't really know a lot of stuff, I want to learn more, because I feel like it's important. Respecting private spaces and respecting that one-on-one interaction, um, instead of just assuming, oh, I'm just like any other person of my identity. So, really valuing the individual relationship is very important to being a trans ally. Is just getting to know the person and not assuming who they are just by their identity. And this applies for other identities as well. And so that's what I have for being a better trans ally. There's so much more, and I'm going to link more in the description of my video. Um, I hope everyone's having a great weekend. It's finals, not finals week yet, but I'm doing my finals. I got a new haircut, because I always have to cut my hair, as it goes super fast. um, Also, it's pretty overcast today. I'm outside near the library, waiting for it to open, and I'm gonna update my personal channel as well. Also, I haven't heard back from my DC internship, and I'm really, 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 really scared. Also, there's a bunch of squirrels behind me. Enjoy it while you can. Uh, and yeah, anyone, any one of you watching out there, I highly encourage you to think about joining the channel, or guest joining the channel, because I really hope that we reach out to more trans API voices out there, because it's super valuable, and we have a lot of different identities out there that we aren't even touching yet. Asian, Pacific, Islander. There's so many more identities out there than just me as a Chinese Taiwanese person who is, more on the masculine side of the spectrum. So I really hope that we can get more trans feminine voices and other API identities. So please, 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 think about guest joining the channel. I really, really value your opinions, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks.